What's up, guys? You got Sturkules here, and it has been a minute since I have brought you any TPA content. And it's back. I think I've hopefully got things figured out now. What happened is I've been having technical difficulties, so it's been almost probably getting close to a month, at least 3 weeks since I've posted a TPA video. And if you remember last time I posted a TPA video, there were 3 battles on that one also. So I'm going to try to keep this short, especially because I'm not going to remember a whole lot of the details. But also just because I don't want this to be too long of a video. But last time it was because things were busy. This time it was not that. It was just because I was having trouble getting my videos to record when I did them. So we're about to face off Hathor, and then I'll show you the other 2 videos. At this moment in time when we're going into this battle, we are 4-2, coming off of a win, and we're at a +8 differential. I think at this time we're jockeying with Hathor for 3rd in the league. At this point in time, the top 2 spots, Zach and BB, the other Ben, are pretty far ahead of everyone, but we're kind of trying to get that 3rd spot. So this is the team I've got drawn up for you guys. I got Kartana with Lumberry, Leaf Blade, Smart Strike, Knockoff, and Sword Stance. Lots of attack, lots of speed, and just a little bit of HP. You see how I can't even tell you off the top of my head who a lot of these guys got, so I'm sorry this is going to be a little bit rough with the team builders, but you can just see how Leaf Blade, Smart Strike, and Knockoff hit a lot of different things, and if you get up a Sword Stance, makes anything hard to switch in, even if it's resisted. Nidoking, I've got Shookaberry. I do remember that's for a Zygarde 1000 Arrows with 216 HP and a Shookaberry. The amount of special attack I've got. I live a regular 1000 Arrows easily. I live a +1 or abandoned 1000 Arrows, and I think I've even got like a 40% chance to live a +2. Though that might be wrong, but I had a chance, I think, unless I calced his stuff wrong, which is also possible. Sludge Wave, Ice Beam, Fire Blast, and Thunderbolt just hits a whole lot of different things on his team. Colossal with the Shookaberry once again for taking any ground moves, though this I think was for a special move. I believe he has a Moltres. So this is a really good Moltres switch in, Overheat, Rock Slide, Rapid Spin, and Spikes. And Shookaberry is for a Scorching Sands there. Mystery, the Spectrier, Shadow Ball, Swift, Substitute, and Nasty Plot. I'm trying to remember why I ran Swift. Obviously that means he probably had some dark and normal types to worry about. I think what I wanted is I just wanted another move that if I got a Nasty Plot or a Grimnay could do a little bit of something. But it's just a pretty weak move, but I think it was just so I could touch them at least. And Uproar is obviously a stronger move, but you get locked into that. Slowking with Regenerator, lots of defense to be able to take hits from his physically defensive threats. Scald, Magic Coat, Dragon Tail, Teleport. In hindsight, I do wish I had Ice Beam. You'll see why. But Dragon Tail just seemed to make sense with some of his setup threats. And then here we got Wigglytuff, Hugs Bunny with leftovers, Frisk, Max Defensive. So as you can see, he's got some physically offensive threats that I'm worried about. Dazzling Gleam, Fire Blast, Wish, and Protect. Let's hop into this battle. As you can see, there's a lot of prep for taking care of Zygarde, but Zygarde is just a huge threat that has a lot of sets that it can run. We'll just put it that way. And I was ready for a lot of them, but I was not ready for what we're going to go up against. Spoiler alert, I guess. So I'm trying to remember, who do we start with? We start with Nidoking. Who does he start with? He starts with Silvally. Okay. So I think I probably just switch because I'm not going to do much to that. Got a pretty good switch in here to Wigglytuff every time. We eat up that multi-attack. What are you, Parting Shot? Let's go on normal speed. I'm not going to have a whole lot of commentary. So he U-turns out. I think I do, yeah, I Fire Blast expecting the Toad. You see that still barely does anything. His team is very threatening. With those defensive Mons, those bottom 3 you see there are really hard to take out. And then Zygarde can just do a whole lot. And Silvally is a very good just support Mon. So we take the Flamethrower easy. Here I set up Spikes, and I knew if he goes Zygarde here and clicks Substitute, it's a problem. But I just kind of had to hope he didn't do that so early. And we see he does. So he's got Crunch for this, which I actually almost ran Colbur Berry, but I ended up not. And we see Scald does not break sub. So this is a big problem because now he can start clicking Dragon Dance. I think he expected me to have Ice Beam is why he crunched initially. Wish I would have had it now. My initial plan was always I could take hits and Dragon Tail him out, but I can't do that when he's got a sub up, so that's a very good play. So now he can kind of just start wrecking me with 1,000 arrows. I can Dazzling Gleam, and we see I get a decent amount of health back. Do you just kill here? He gets up a third Dragon Dance. Here's where this is a problem, because from +3 I am not living this. So very smart of him. He's able to kill. And so here's where I messed up. Here I go Slow King. I didn't realize, and you're about to see, that Kartana actually would have lived this hit, because it actually does have a huge defense stat. And I don't know if it was a roll for me to live. All I know is Kartana lived. So if I would have calced this better, I just went straight into Slow King. And I should have thought more. But if I would have went straight into Kartana, I could have lived a hit actually and killed him. Here I go in with a Sugar Berry. Obviously from +3 I'm going to die. So I kind of waste Nidoking and Slow King here. Only see what happens to have Kartana live at 7%. So if I would have calced that, went straight into Kartana, I could have killed. I'd still have Nidoking and Slow King right now. And while things would be tough, I would at least kind of have a chance. Here I just got to hope to not make any mess ups here. I expected probably Bronzong to come in on a rock move. So I see a... I thought he was getting rocks up. He starts Calm Minding. Wasn't expecting an offensive Clefable, so that's tough. He goes for a second Calm Mind. He knows he can't stay in because a big Smart Strike's coming. I don't know if I Smart Strike or Knock Off. Okay, I do Smart Strike. I guess I'm in no position to be predicting, obviously. So here I double, expecting a Moltres. I think I double again, as does he. Where do we go? Okay, I go Kartana. Leaf Blade does a lot, but not near enough. He does Flame Charge here, which is interesting. And we do find out that even though Colossal is specially defensive, it's going to take hits really nicely. So we take that multi-attack, we overheat. He barely lives. Bummer. But that's okay. We take another hit. Rock Slide, and I'm starting to wonder if I can get a kill with Spectrair, can I still win this thing? I double into Spectrair. The thing is, he does have Calm Mind. Now I have Nasty Plot. So what do I think I substitute, thinking, hey, do you Calm Mind again? He goes for the Moonblast. Good play. Just keep pressure on. So now I'm going to Nasty Plot, because I actually think if he's physically defensive getting up these Calm Minds, I have a chance to do well. Now, first off, we get that drop, which is rough. But we're going to see it doesn't matter at all, because he is specially defensive with Calm Mind, which is a really nice bring on his part. So he's going to pick up, for him, a pretty easy 4-0. He played this game really well. He saw Colossal and he knew, hey, that's setup fodder. I do wish I would have had something like Toxic for that on the Switch, because with how big of a threat Zygarde was, I should have looked at Colossal and said, this is a good check to multiple things on his team, but it's setup fodder with the set I have. Rapid Spin, though, was really nice. Getting some spikes were really nice, but I could have... See, that was my rocker also. So I could have just brought Mono Attack, Rock Slide, but I don't know. I guess if anything, I should have left Rapid Spin at home, or maybe brought Rocks on Wigglytuff. And actually, did I? I can't remember. Either way, that's what happened there. I obviously had plays I could have made when I thought he maybe could he go into Zygarde here. I should have doubled early. I was worried about taking damage on things too early. I played too safely. I was playing not to lose, and I needed to play to win. And because of that, I lost. But not to take anything away from Hathor, you played great, my man. A 4-0 win is huge. That knocks me down to 4-3 and +4 on the season. Puts me behind a few people, if I remember right. I can't go look because the standings are completely different now. But anyway, yeah, that's video number 1. Do hope you enjoyed. You got 2 more coming your way. Battle number 2 coming your way. Looking at the team, as you can see, we're starting things off with a Choice Scarf Flygon. For what I needed to outspeed on his team, as a Scarfer, it wasn't a whole lot. Basically, that means a lot of his Mons, he had things like Cinderace and Regieleki, that if they wanted to be Choice Scarfed, I wasn't going to outspeed them anyway because they had a higher speed tier. So I just put 48 speed, and I think that outsped anything on his team that wasn't Regieleki, basically. So Outrage and Earthquake just hit pretty much his whole team. U-turn allowed me to pivot around, and having a Choice Scarf Defogger is always nice. a fast defogger, then I can switch out. Next up, we've got Tonks, the Sylveon. As you can see, a lot of HP, a lot of defense on it. Just a little special attack and special defense. Really, that just rounds it off to a nicer looking number. And 12 speed was to make sure I wasn't sped crapped. Hyper Voice still hits his team hard enough. Mystical Fire for any steel types. And as you can see, I've got the Babiri Berry to help weaken a steel move I might have to take. Once again, having trouble remembering his team until I'm about to see it in this battle. King Me, the Slow King, running a regenerator set, not surprising to see. HP, a lot of HP in defense. I know he's got some real physical threats. Obviously, I remember in Regieleki and Cinderace, I remember Cofagrigus. From that, I'm having trouble remembering, but I'm running leftovers on this thing. And once again, 8 speed just to outspeed things. Toxic and Teleport can wear down a lot of his bulkier mons. And then Teleport for predictions to get some of that regenerator health back. I've run a defensive Slowking just so often. There's a few sets I want to run with it. And I think I've been almost maybe too predictable with Slowking this season. Something I got to do better with come around the playoffs so that they don't just know what set I'm bringing. Because there's plenty of sets you can run. It's just so easy to get locked into something that works well. As you can see, I'd made my last few free agency moves, and I picked up Zoroark. Now, Zoroark is not a very bulky dark type to switch in to ghost moves, but I liked its speed tier, and I liked the pivoting it gave me. It's just a really good mon, and it's a good enough special and physical attacker that you can run a mixed set. With these numbers I've got here, both of them reached over 300 in their respective attacks, and then it outsped most of his team. We've got Wide Lens, because I didn't want to miss Focus Blasts, and I didn't want to miss Night Dazes. Night Daze is Zoroark's signature move, 85 base power, so it's a little stronger than Dark Pulse. It does not have the flinch chance, but this move is really cool, and I did check with Zach, one of the guys who runs our league, commissioners is what we like calling him, and he did say this move is legal to run, so it has a 40% chance to drop accuracy, so I just think that's a really cool thing that's unique for Zoroark. But Sucker Punch for, I believe he had a Latios. I can't remember if he had Latios or Latias, but that thing is faster than Zoroark, and if it got like something like a Dragon Dance or was Choice Scarfed, and I was having trouble outspeeding it, a Sucker Punch would do a lot. Night Daze did a lot, and then U-Turn, so that I could pretend it was something else, like if I wanted to try to get a situation where it looked like it was Flygon and I could U-Turn. But yeah, Wide Lens was just me thinking, hey, I'm doing quite a bit, so no need for something like Life Orb or Specs or Band or anything like that. So let's just try not to miss a Focus Blast. He had Urshifu, single strike. I'm remembering that now. That's something I wanted to hit with a Focus Blast on a switch, because if he did figure out that that was Zoroark, that's a very good switch in. So we got Mystery with Colbur Berry. Lots of things on his team could run some dark type coverage. This just helped live one of those. Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp, Substitute, and Nasty Plot outsped, I believe, everything on his team other than Regieleki. Surprise, surprise. And then Nidoking was how I was going to handle Regieleki. Shadow Ball was going to do a ton to it. Basically, Earth Power and Shadow Ball for the second time this season just hit pretty much everything on my opponent's team. So those are two very ground and ghost are two types that are very hard to switch in on. A Stealth Rocker with Pyapa Berry. I believe, I can't remember what that is. I think that helps you take a Psychic move. So probably take a Psychic move from like a Zen Headbutt Cinderace, but more importantly, a move from Latios. Was that what that is, Pyapa Berry? I'm having trouble remembering. It was a few weeks ago, like I said. But Protect, Regielekis like to run Normal Gym Explosion because they have trouble hurting a ground type. I've got 2 ground types, so I got 2 things that can switch in on as Thunderbolts and Volt Switches. So I assume that Explosion was going to want to be clicked at some point, so we'll see if that pays off. Let's hop into the battle. Normal speed. I'm trying to remember our starts. He leads Kofag, I lead Flygon. I'm going to U-turn out of there because I can't do much to it and it can Will-O-Wisp me. I die, you die. I love the nickname. That's funny. Very hard to kill. So I go into Tonks because I know it can take pretty much any hit. He Trick Rooms, actually. And we see Poltergeist. I did not expect a physical Kofagrigus. Honestly, Shadow Ball probably was better than either of those 2 moves to have. Something like Will-O-Wisp and Hex too. Poltergeist is very good on physical dark type moves, but this is a special dark or special ghost. So, but it was still unexpected, so I thought it was cool. We kind of just do some back and forth here. Wishing, pain splitting, staying alive. I see that Hyper Voice does quite a bit. I am wishing I was a little more invested for that, but that's okay. That's just how it goes. So we're just going to kind of keep going back and forth until one of us decides to make a prediction. So I really don't have a whole lot to say because I don't remember exactly what I'm clicking. This was a few weeks ago, but just going back and forth right now. I'm just trying to keep Tonks healthy because this is my answer to Urshifu. That's the big reason why I had Babiri Berry, because Urshifu can run something like Iron Head to hit it. So I'm just staying alive. At first I'm like, man, I feel really dumb. But I have Protect on this so I can get that back. I figured he would Trick Room and that was a good time to switch, but I wanted to get that health back. That was very important to me. So as you can see, I've got my Zoroark disguised as Nidoking right now. I go ahead and go for just the safe Night Days just because I feel like why not. So now I got my switch into Sylveon. He gets off a Dynamic Punch, man. He was running some cool sets, and he lands the 50% Dynamic Punch, which I cannot say I was too awful happy about, but he gets it. I see this coming in, so I get it Toxicked, which is very nice. Now I believe I'm going to take this Poltergeist, and do I just... Yeah, then I teleport out. Should get most of my health back. Here, I don't think he realized that this was my Zoroark still. How you do that is basically based on, you look at the percentage here. He stayed in, man, and I thought that Urshifu was coming. I clicked Focus Blast. I was a little annoyed. Since he stays in again, I just U-turn into Sylveon. So we're in an okay spot still, even though I would have loved to have Focus Blasted there. And now he cannot switch into two of these Hyper Voices, and his Trick Room is going to run out. So I go ahead and get off another Hyper Voice, and Tonks is able to pick up its first kill as a new member of the squad. Very happy to have it. I dropped Wigglytuff and Grimmsnarl, by the way. It's been a while if you don't remember. But here, I was really tempted to say, hey, he won't pull the explosion yet. But I decided to go ahead and do that, and I do take it out with the explosion. So here, once again, he's forgotten that this is Zoroark, because it can switch. I always have trouble with Zoroark too. Like, how do you decide what it switches into? I get very confused by it. But anyway, we get a Sucker Punch off on it. I think he thinks I'm going to Sucker Punch again, so he roosts. I can't Sucker Punch. Able to get off of Night Days. So yeah, anyway. I'm kind of slurring my words here, getting a little confused, but throws off the Fling, which is kind of cool. And Wicked Blow is not going to be enough to kill, so I'm able to kill here with Hyper Voice. I loved that Fling play. Obviously, it didn't work great on Sylveon, but that was just a really cool thought. Basically, he flung an Iron Ball, so Iron Ball would have made him slower in Trick Room, which is a really cool pairing with Cofagrigus. Here, I could have had a 6-0, or I could have had a better differential. I could have had a... yeah, I think I could have preserved a 6-0 and left Sylveon alive, but I didn't know he was locked in, and at this point, I'm just wanting to win. You don't worry too much about... that, getting a 6-0 when there's still threats on the field that you could lose to. So what do I do here? I take the Outrage, I know, and now I'm going to teleport. What do I go into? So I guess I know Nidoking can take pretty much any hit. So do I just... I considered... I get an unfortunate crit there. I considered clicking Protect here. But because of the crit, I'm actually going to be able to just kill it with Earth Power. Get Nidoking a kill. So there's a 5-0 win. That's a nice bounce back after getting slapped by Hathor 4-0 last week by that stinking beast of a big dragon worm guy. I can't remember his name. Zygarde. That's it. So pick up the 5-0 win here. That puts us at 5-3 plus 13 on the season. So we're kind of inching back towards trying to get that number 3 spot. And basically in the league, number 3 is what I'm trying to get to. Just for like... if I were to meet the 4 seed, that doesn't really matter. I guess seeding. Yeah, I guess seeding actually doesn't matter. I just want to make the playoffs. In my mind, it would have mattered, but since only a few make the playoffs, I think 3 from each league. Or is it 4 now? Maybe seeding does matter. I can't remember. Either way, I just want to be the highest seed possible, but I'm trying to get to where I can be the 2 seed in my division. Wrapping up the 1 seed is not a possibility because Zach is just killing it this season and has not lost a game yet. At this point, I'm just rambling, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this battle. I got one more coming your way, and like I said, we're 5-3 plus 13, so we want to keep on rolling. So let's just see how this next battle goes. Part 3 of the 3 battles coming your way, and then you see that last tab open. We'll actually be able to look up and kind of show you where we're at in the division and stuff, where our team is at on kills for the season and whatnot. One thing I actually did mess up is I told you after this last game that my differential was like plus 13. No, because I dropped some from plus 8 to plus 4, so it was at plus 9 heading. So I was 5-3 plus 9 heading into this match. So as you can see, I have a choice scarfed Kartana with some HP, lots of attack, but pretty much a max amount of speed. And I believe that's stout speed. He has like both Keldeo and Virizion, and possibly even like Galvantula on his team, which are I think all 108 speed. So this allows me to outspeed those if they are at plus 1 if they're scarfed also, which I could have seen them having been to outspeed Kartana. Leaf Blade, Smart Strike, Knockoff, and Sacred Sword. I'm able to hit pretty much everything with that combination of moves, but since I am locked in with Choice Scarf, that does mean I'm likely going to have to make some predictions. But at the same time, sometimes if you get up a Beast Boost, you don't have to predict that much. 2 King Henry with the Life Orb and Sheer Force. Hit everything real hard. This is the second time this season I have planned to run a Nidoking under Trick Room, so you'll see Sludge Wave, Earth Power, and Ice Beam hit just a ton of things on his team. He has a lot of threats on top of what he did and didn't bring. I do remember the 2 horses I named. I do remember the fact that he has a what is the name of that? Salamence that I was really worried about. Keldeo is just always a huge threat. Calm Mind, Spec, Surf, whatever it is. But I'm having trouble remembering the other things. Of course you are. Oh, he has an Excadrill, which is always a big threat. So once again, that can up its own speed if it were to be like Scarfed or if it were to set up some sand. So I wanted to have answers to that, and one of those was Nidoking in Trick Room. Oh, and he also had an Alolan Marowak. That was the only thing on his team that I was worried about coming, that I was worried that Trick Room might benefit. So I did have to be careful with that, and that is one of the reasons why I had a max defense Kasib Berry Slowking. Now you see max HP and defense. I did still run this as a mod. I ran Quiet Nature. Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. Quiet Nature meant that Slowking was plus special attack and minus speed. Now I ran a plus special attack nature because I could still get a ton of defense investing with HP and defense, but something like a Psyshock and Ice Beam were still going to do a lot of damage to Mons on his team if I ran a modest nature with those. Just a little more way to get some damage out of that. Psyshock hits Virizion really hard, hits Keldeo, which I'm a switch into really hard, and does hit things like Salamence. Now things like Excadrill, it's not going to hit super well, but we can take a hit and teleport out. And Psyshock is going to do enough to, it's going to do enough to, what is his name? Marowak. Now, I actually was planning on running Surf. I guess I took that off. Did I really? Teleport and Trick Room. What do you know? I took that off. Yeah, okay. I planned to have Surf for that, but I guess I took that off last minute. Under Skarmory, the Skarmory with leftovers, Body Press, Toxic, Roost, and Spikes. I initially wanted to have another attacking move along with Body Press. Was it maybe, I can't remember if it was Drill Peck or a Steel move, but I decided Toxic was good because there were a few things that I had trouble hitting. I think he's got a Ghost type that I was worried about not being able to hit, but I realized Toxic was still fine. Lots of defense, just enough. And you know what? Yeah, I changed. I'm looking at my EVs now. I obviously had an attacking move on there because I put 16 in attack, and with the 4 moves I have, the 16 EVs actually don't affect any of those attacks because Body Press is based on your defense. So I had an attack, changed it to Toxic, didn't go back to the EVs. Whoopsie. And then just enough special defense to make it a little more bulky. Roost helps it stay alive, and Spike stacking is always nice on a team like his that has a lot of threats. Last 2, I had Tonks, the Sylveon with Hyper Voice and Mystical Fire. There were a few things on his team that didn't hit, like an Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak was actually kind of a problem for my team. I kind of at certain points just had to sack things off. Was going to be my thought, but Hyper Voice, I was going to hit things okay. I had it pretty slow so that in Trick Room it would still be okay. Could pass off a wish to something or could hit things with Hyper Voice. Like I said, something like Mystical Fire, that is for his Excadrill. Hyper Voice hits his 2 fighting type horses or Salamence super effectively. So just something nice to have. And then Protect, just to kind of scout out things to get a wish back. Or if he set his own Trick Room and maybe I wasn't ready for it, I could stall out turns of that. I could stall out turns of Sand with Protect, so that was nice. And as you can see, I also ran Protect on Mystery for those same reasons. Hex, Dark Pulse, and Will-O-Wisp. The Hex was supposed to pair with Toxic Spikes if Nidoking got those up. If not, it was able to Will-O-Wisp, or if Skarmory was able to protect something. There was 2 options where Hex was going to be doubled in power. Had Focus Sash if I was able to keep hazards off the field before it got in. It would be able to live any hit and then deliver a big hit back. And then Dark Pulse was for basically if he brought, I'm trying to remember what normal types he had. He had a few normal types I was a little bit worried about taking down. Oh, I know I think he had Kangaskhan. I can't remember what else. But he had a few things that I considered switch-ins. And then Protect, once again, just to stall out turns. And I know he brought at least one thing that I wasn't expecting. Yeah, he brought Absol. Togekiss, that was another mon that he had on his team that was a big threat. Part of the reason for running multiple Ice Beam mons. So let's just hop into this. But yeah, I did not see Absol coming. And then he had Zeraora. Okay, just looking back at his team, you can see there was something I wanted to say with Zeraora. Obviously, Nidoking was my only real Zeraora answer. That's one thing. Anyway, I forgot what else I wanted to say. That's fine. Let's hop into this battle. Let's see who our leads are. I led Kartana, Scarf Kartana, just to hit hard from the get-go. I could have clicked Sacred Sword as he clicks Night Slash, but at the same time, I knew Tonks was a safe switch in. What do I do here? I double into Spectrier. Okay. So here I actually didn't think he'd stand with Togekiss. I guess I thought he'd probably go double back into Absol, so I wanted to get off a Hex, or a burn so I could Hex it. I don't get flinched by his Air Slash, which is pretty huge, because then I can get some huge damage off with my Hex. I don't love standing there, but I guess I saw Spectrier as less valuable after the Thunder Wave. Good play by him. I try to Protect here just to kind of see what he wants to do. Obviously don't want to take a hit from the Underminer, but Skarmory pretty much walls anything this wants to do. So he goes for a Rapid Spin. Probably not realizing, just not thinking that my hazards weren't going to be up yet. But he Rapid Spins again. So since I knew he was going to do that, I could Body Press. Now I don't think he's going to stay in and let this just go down for nothing. So he does switch, calling my another Body Press, but I'm able to get up another Spike there. Now the problem is, though, what in the world is my switch in? So I just want to see what he's going to do, and I don't want to switch into Slowking just yet. And I knew I was at Sturdy, so I was like, hey, even if he clicks Flare Blitz, we can at least get a Toxic off and see what he wants to do. I think now he'll surely Flare Blitz. He Shadow Bones again. Luckily, it's not Poltergeist. That would have been a problem. But he just does an absolute ton of damage, even through Kasib Berry. So I just go ahead and sack off Spectrier. Now I know I can come in here with Kartana and click Knockoff and pick up a KO. He goes ahead and just sacks this off, realizing, hey, that's already done a ton of work. Here he's going to go into Zoroark, and this is kind of unfortunate for him, because I'm going to click Knock Off again, knowing I can do a huge amount of health. And he goes for Blaze Kick, which I think absolutely killed, depending on his set. That's why I run Fire Punch on that. But Blaze Kick is more powerful, so I get why he does that. Now I can just keep clicking Knock Off, really with no care in the world. Once again, you go into Togekiss, I can just keep clicking Knock Off. He probably should have went Keldeo right away on this, because now I'm able to get up to +3. Now just a lot of things are gone. I'm Choice Scarfed. I'm going to outspeed anything. But I'm actually not going to kill this, so I have a pretty easy switch into Slowking. So from here, we can see I take that Sacred Sword, so I'm able to set up Trick Room. And I could teleport out into something, but honestly, I can actually just click Psyshock from here, and I think, yeah, everything's just going to die. I can click Ice Beam, and then Zeraora is so low, it's going to die to Spikes. So that's going to be that. That Blaze Kick miss was really unfortunate. I'm really sorry about that, Ninja, a.k.a. Sod is his real name. But I'm really that was really unfortunate. If Blaze Kick, I'm guessing, would have absolutely killed there. My play would have been to go Nidoking. I think I played it out in my head a few different ways, and I think that I still could have picked up probably a 3-0 just because Trick Room would have been really good. But at the same time, getting 5-0'd because Zero Aura misses a Blaze Kick, I cannot get that word out. A 10% miss is really tough, so I do want to apologize for that. And that did affect some differential. He's trying to get into the playoffs, so that is unfortunate. And it's not a sure thing I would have won. I could have made a misplay, or he could have made some great predictions. I do think I still probably picked up a 2-0 or 3-0, maybe a 4-0, but either way, it felt nasty getting a 5-0 off of that. I felt bad about it, but it's just what happens sometimes. That's the game we play. Hacks are a crazy thing. So you see, I'm sitting here at 6-3 with a plus 14 differential, and I am sitting at number 3. You see a lot of lopsided victories. My closest game has been a 3-0, which felt even closer. If you remember week 2 against Jason, that game was wild. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 5-0s. But I also lost 2 5-0s, which I felt should have been closer, but stuff happened. But I absolutely got outplayed. And then a 4-0, where I was probably just lucky not to get 6-0'd, if we're being real. So last game of the season is against Kyle and his New England Pat Rats. Just a quick thing. We're not going to really talk about the team yet. I'll have a team builder, but you can see he's got some massive threats for days on his team. Not going to talk yet about what I think he's going to bring. But let's look at my Pokemon stats. As you can see, I did make some changes since you probably last saw my team. I had Grimmsnarl, Hitmontop, and Wigglytuff. And I think I had 20 free points, so I had a little flexibility. I picked up Sylveon, who I think is a better Clericmon, who can also be a cool breaker. I picked up Hitmonchan, who still gives me fighting-type priority and is still a rapid spinner. Not as good defensively as Hitmontop, but I think it's a little better offensively, so it was a little more value. I was able to drop some points through doing that, and I was able to also pick up Zoroark just to keep a dark type on the team. May not have been the best move. I dropped a dark and normal type, which really helped out Spectrier. But as you can see, Spectrier has not had the biggest role on my team this season. I mean, it does have 7 kills, and it has come to 6 games. But I'm thinking in at least multiple wins, it has not set foot on the field, and other things kind of took care of it. And really, obviously, Kartana has been the MVP of my team. Only come to 5 games, and it's got 12 kills. That's really cool. As you can see, kill-wise, it's ranked 4th in the league. Spectrier is pretty high. Nidoking's really high. Flygon could be higher. There were a few times, I think, where it could have gotten a kill, and I gave it to something else. But this is just looking at everything on my team. Everything but Hitmonchan has a kill. And Hitmonchan has not come yet. We'll see if it does get to come. But looking at everything on my team, that's pretty much where we are sitting at. So if page loads real quick, I can kind of just look at the overall standings. So you can see Kartana is 4th on the kill leader. Part of me kind of wants to see if in the last game it can just go off, but you just kind of got to go with where it's at. And then you can see I am 3rd in the overall standings. That we got some really close people behind. So yeah, it's been fun. Glad I was able to finally get these videos up. Hope you did enjoy. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully from here, the last few weeks, as I have the last week in playoffs, it'll be regular uploads, not having to group them together. You never know. I'm going to hop on out of here. As you can see, I'm kind of antsy. I've been sitting down for a long time. I'm ready to stretch my legs and walk around. So I'm going to hop on out of here. Have yourself a great day. Peace.